In April 2024, JoJo Siwa executed a complete rebrand, seemingly overnight, going from bubbly child star to provocative wild child, claiming that she was a trailblazer, paving the way not only for her generation.
And I am the first in the generation. It is very scary, but someone's got to do it.
But for an entire community.
I said, I want to start a new genre of music. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's called gay pop.
And the internet has had a field day trashing her for it.
JoJo Siwa just won't stop.
JoJo Siwa is the devil. Prove me wrong.
Like, nothing brings people together like a common enemy.
And sure, when celebrities enter into a new era, there's bound to be some pushback from the loyal fan base they've cultivated over the years. But in JoJo's case, most would agree that her recent reinvention was a fundamental flop. Or was it?
Whether people like it or not, the marketing plan worked.
There's nothing wrong with an artist wanting to change their brand and try something new. But what if an artist wants to rebrand because they know it would steal the spotlight from their dark secrets? No matter what the social media hate train has you believe, JoJo Siwa's latest era was a success, just not in the way you'd think. It's no secret that child stardom comes at a price. We've seen it time and time again, with children who grew up in the spotlight, only to find out that fame isn't exactly like being a kid in a candy store. Yet, JoJo's early career surely made it look like it was. Born in 2003, JoJo Siwa was performing from the tender age of 2 years old, literally dancing since diapers. However, it wasn't until 2013 that her career officially took off. At just 9 years old, JoJo was catapulted to fame during her time as the youngest contestant on Lifetime's Abby's Ultimate Dance Competition, a spin-off of Abby Lee Miller's hit reality TV series, Dance Moms. This was JoJo's first encounter of what would be many with a celebrity dance instructor. Despite finishing in 5th place, JoJo was given a spot on the main cast of Dance Moms, along with her mother, former dance instructor and manager, Jessalynn Siwa.
She has that charisma, she has that energy, she wants it, she's dynamite on stage.
Throughout her time on the show, her vibrant personality and signature handmade bows made her stand out among the cast, becoming perhaps the second most famous dancer to come out of the show, next to fellow Dance Moms alum and rival, Maddie Ziegler. However, this star power didn't spare her from the grueling hours, mistreatment, and verbal abuse that she and the other girls went through under Abby Lee Miller's mentorship.
Ava, you're too tall for us today.
Please keep yelling at me.
She deserves nothing.
The level of stress JoJo underwent during this time even caused her to develop a stress rash on her right temple, leading to permanent hair loss in that area, as she later revealed in a TikTok video in 2022.
I figured I would just explain this. It's actually not from the ponytail, considering it went on this side. It would be this, because this didn't really get pulled at all. When I was little, I had a really bad stress rash right here on Dance Moms, and I would pick at it all day long, and I damaged every single hair follicle that has ever been right there. So now I'm carrying her love with me.
But this wasn't the only hair-raising mishap JoJo endured during her years as a dancer. On an episode of Dance Moms, JoJo revealed that her signature blonde locks weren't the results of genetics, but bleach that her mother had been applying to her strands since toddlerhood.
Dyeing my hair since I was like 2, maybe 1.5. I'm not a natural blonde, I'm actually a natural brown.
But of course, JoJo's bottle blonde ponytail and vibrant bows could only take her so far. To be the best, she had to conform to Abby's standards. And when JoJo failed to rise to the occasion, the fallout was caught on camera.
I want to stay, but I don't want to be treated like that.
For you to come over here and take one is a greedy little monster. Don't do it. JoJo! Have you learned nothing?
Yet, despite any negative feedback JoJo received on the show, her fan base was growing, and in late 2015, JoJo would be introduced to someone who would teach her how to capitalize off of this audience. Colleen Ballinger. That's right, the person responsible for changing the trajectory of JoJo's career was none other than the now disgraced YouTuber, best known for her controversial alter ego, Miranda Sings.
Don't touch me, JoJo.
Every time. Can I touch Oprah?
Yeah, you can touch Oprah.
Oh.
If you want to dance with your legs spread, you can do that. You just like this, bouncing.
As many of you may know, in recent years, Colleen has been accused of grooming minors, especially her own fans. But while there may have been concern about their then adult-child relationship,
We need to stop before she hurts her Tukey permanently.
JoJo herself hasn't come forward to make any allegations. In fact, she's sung Colleen's praises. In a September 2023 episode of Howie Mandel's podcast, JoJo shared that in one Dance Moms episode, 4 of the girls were invited to YouTuber Todrick Hall's party. JoJo and castmate Nia Sue did not make the cut. The slight, however, didn't bother the pair. After all, they'd already met Todrick, but then they learned Colleen, cosplaying as Miranda Sings, had surprised the girls at the party.
Me and Nia were devastated because we were massive fans and we loved Colleen and we loved Miranda.
When the episode aired, Colleen saw they were upset and decided to make it up to the girls.
She reached out to Holly and was like, I would love to make this up to you guys. I was wondering where JoJo and Nia were. I just want to make the kids happy. I just want JoJo and Nia to not be sad anymore.
And so, JoJo, Nia, and their moms met Colleen for dinner. An evening JoJo has credited with inspiring her following career move.
Colleen was telling me that night about YouTube and how her whole family did it and how it was awesome and she vlogs her life. And that night is when I went home and I made my YouTube channel and decided that that was going to be my career, essentially.
We'll go more into detail about Colleen and JoJo's problematic relationship later. For now, all you need to know is that JoJo's transition to YouTube paid off, big time. And this meant by the time JoJo left Dance Moms in 2016, she had her channel and a growing following that referred to themselves as Siwanators to fall back on. JoJo used her channel to upload her new music, dance routines, and vlogs that gave viewers a glimpse into her eclectic life as one of the biggest social media influencers of her generation. At this point, JoJo's content was as bright, loud, and sequined as the dancer herself. Most importantly, she was a massive hit with the kids, racking up millions of subscribers on her channel. So, it was no wonder that Nickelodeon sniffed her out. In 2016, JoJo signed an exclusive talent deal with the Kids Network. It was the start of a beautiful partnership, filled to the brim with various projects for the rising star, including cameos on The Thundermans,
Hey, no one talks about our queen like that.
a JoJo and Bao Bao animated series,
I love dancing with him.
and the musical drama film The J-Team. But it didn't stop there. Nickelodeon even managed to establish JoJo herself as a brand.
And now I am here with you guys in the JoJo merch room.
They sold JoJo-themed toys, house furnishings, clothes, video games, card games, and an entire line of JoJo Siwa signature hair bows. While JoJo's success shows how beneficial a good idea can be, not everyone enjoys making money under the spotlight, but we may have a solution to help boost your income without the need for celebrity status. Thanks to our sponsor for today's video, CashKick, the ultimate rewards program. Imagine making over $150 just by completing tasks or playing games on your phone, all from the comfort of your own home. All you need to start earning is sign up by creating an account with your email and password. Once you're in, choose from a variety of campaigns and follow the directions. From there, you just play and earn. Our favorite campaign is playing mobile games, especially the fun puzzle games that sharpen our strategy skills. Once you've accumulated enough rewards, cash out for money. To show you how easy this is, check out the balance of our account. We made $20 just from playing a few games this past week. Depending on the game, this can take a few hours to a few days. So, if you already love spending time on your phone, start getting paid for it. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to get started with CashKick. Now, back to the story. After covering the bases of JoJo's early career, it's only appropriate to acknowledge the woman behind JoJo's rise to fame, Jessalynn Siwa.
Nothing is off limits when it comes to doing what I think will benefit JoJo.
As a former dance instructor and a dance studio owner herself, JoJo's momager was dead set to make her daughter a star.
You're taking this way too serious.
No, I watched you sabotage another dancer for years.
It's not true.
You're not gonna do it to JoJo.
In a 2019 interview with Rolling Stone, Jessalynn shared how she recognized JoJo's potential at just 1.5 when her daughter started doing a movement the mother dubbed the hottie dance. From then, I literally ran with it, the mother told the magazine. We had a CD player in our kitchen, so I would always be making mac and cheese and say, "Oh, let's do a dance." And she would just do her dance. Soon enough, JoJo's dance was so popular amongst guests that Jessalynn would literally wake her up at night and she would do her dance. But the hottie dance wasn't just the start of JoJo's ambitions, it was the start of Jessalynn's own. After all, when the casting call went out for Abby's Ultimate Dance competition, Jess didn't miss a beat in submitting tapes of her daughter's dancing, unbeknownst to JoJo herself. In the end, JoJo had only placed 5th on the show, But the producers were so captivated by her live interviews and by Jessalynn's own competitive personality that they offered her a spot on Dance Moms anyway. And so, JoJo's TV debut on the show marked the beginning of the mother and daughter's shared journey in the limelight and shared controversies. On Dance Moms, Jess would often clash with other mothers.
She's a hard worker and she's a good dancer, and she puts 110% into it.
So do all our children.
And the show's notoriously tough instructor, Abby Lee Miller.
You are backing up a brat.
No.
Particularly when it was in defense of her daughter.
Ashley, you better stop it. You better stop it.
Stop what?
You better stop talking about JoJo or you're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Well, then don't talk about Bryn.
But despite the years of her sticking by JoJo's side and showcasing what appeared to be a positive relationship with her daughter.
To the world, like you're a good human, and that makes me really proud. It's not about outer beauty, it's about inner beauty.
So nothing I've done, just the person I am.
Stuff is incredible.
Jessalynn hasn't been able to endear herself to JoJo's fanbase the same way. Nope. According to Siwa-nators, JoJo's mother represented everything JoJo was against. Or as one Reddit post put it, Jessalynn is kind of the worst. I find it kind of cringy that her mom was one of the biggest bullies on the show, while JoJo's whole image is based on anti-bullying. Another user added, yes, I hated Jessalynn ever since I heard her mock Chrissy's appearance like this. She looks like someone who should be selling hot dogs, not someone who should be in a dance studio. Ew, just a classic mean girl overall. And another user pointed out, Jessalynn's stage mom antics didn't help her case. Jessalynn was the worst. She probably still is. She started bleaching JoJo's hair when she was 2. That's sick. Little kids have extremely sensitive skin, and there's no way JoJo herself asked for that. She was already determined to make JoJo famous. She's also an anti-vaxxer. Everything about her sucks, and I have no idea how she managed to raise such a lovely girl. Some accuse the mother of pushing JoJo too hard as a child, to the point of exposing her daughter to Abby's abuse and humiliation on television for the sake of her career.
I hate the way that Abby is treating JoJo. But I know this is a great opportunity for JoJo, and I want her to be on the team.
Fans of JoJo were also skeptical of Jessalynn's relentless pursuit to bring JoJo into stardom, which may have come at the expense of her early childhood. In fact, on the Dance Moms Seeing Stars special, Abby Lee Miller herself confronted Jessalynn about her parenting affecting JoJo's development.
I think she is a fabulous kid, but I think you are doing detrimental harm to her.
How?
Not using a speech therapist.
Speech therapist,
not getting her.
Are you a mother?
When she needs
let's just go with it. Are you even a mom?
Having her in school when she needs to be.
But JoJo didn't just have one person shaping her career. She had 2. In 2015, JoJo was asked to promote jewelry for a woman named Karen Sterling. However, after meeting the rising star, Karen had bigger plans. She wanted JoJo to be a brand, Jessalynn told the Rolling Stone. And I'm like, I'm in, let's do it. And so, acting as JoJo's brand manager, Karen was the woman who built JoJo's brand into a billion-dollar franchise, securing her partnerships with Nickelodeon and the children's accessories chain, Claire's.
I taught JoJo patents and trademarks and sizzle reel and style guides, but she's a smart girl.
Yeah.
And she, with her social media prowess, I mean, we were a dream team.
For the next few years, the name JoJo Siwa was synonymous with children's merchandise, hyperpop music, and big bedazzled bows, at least until January 2021, when JoJo made headlines for officially coming out as queer. The announcement gained the dancer widespread support and admiration from fans and the general public alike. But it wasn't just the public's perception of JoJo's sexuality that had changed, so had her appearance. Yes, in the months leading up to her coming out, JoJo had unveiled a new look, trading in the bows for a more mature style. According to The Star, it was this aesthetic transition that was harder to broach with her mother than it was to tell her she was queer. Nonetheless, JoJo's brand was able to adapt to these developments. In fact, later that year, JoJo would make history as one half of the first same-sex dancing pair on Dancing with the Stars, with her pro partner, Jenna Johnson. But while Mommy's little girl was growing up and chasing after her own projects, Jessalynn was on the hunt for a new starlet to mold.
You think you're gonna be able to handle my mom? I thought the same thing when I was 9.
In a full-circle moment, the mother-daughter duo returned to reality TV in 2021, not as contestants, but this time as mentors and producers to young aspiring girls, with the launch of their show, Siwa's Dance Pop Revolution, on Peacock. The show documented the formation of OMG Pop, a girl group mentored by JoJo and managed by Jessalynn. However, the series that was meant to showcase JoJo's skills as a mentor, guiding a new generation of talent that would rival Kidz Bop into the limelight, would become a huge source of drama and controversy for both mother and daughter. But we'll get back to that in a bit. In March 2024, The first promotions for JoJo's song, Karma, were released. Marking the beginning of JoJo's rebrand was a disclaimer video warning viewers of disturbing content unsuitable for young audiences. For the next couple weeks, her social media was filled with cryptic posts and edgy photos that had the internet intrigued, if not concerned, as to what JoJo's transformation would look like in its final form. And users were not left wondering too long. At the iHeartRadio Music Awards in April, JoJo unveiled her shocking new look. The star had traded in the sequin bows for black sequin tights and Kiss-inspired eye makeup. Following the reveal, JoJo started giving back-to-back interviews and statements hyping up her upcoming rebrand as an adult artist. She would constantly draw a comparison to Miley Cyrus's infamous Bangers era, where Miley shed her Disney image for a more rebellious persona.
No one has made, in my generation, this extreme of a switch. And I am the first in the generation. It is very scary, but someone's got to do it.
JoJo then took it a step further by asserting that her rebrand would usher in the next era of pop.
I said, I want to start a new genre of music. And they said, what do you mean? And I said, well, it's called gay pop. Gay pop is a thing that people have done, but it is not an official genre of music. You know what I mean? Like, it is a style.
Needless to say, JoJo's efforts to emulate this kind of transformation were met with mixed reactions. So while one Twitter user reworded JoJo Siwa teases her rebrand to JoJo Siwa threatens a rebrand, and another user lamented, I hate JoJo Siwa rebrand. Girl, you could have took the cute Cara Delevingne route. Instead, you want to be Rey Mysterio. So too did others jump to JoJo's defense. Call me crazy, but something about grown-ass adults that weren't forced into the spotlight as a child, making fun of JoJo Siwa's rebrand just for fun, rubs me the wrong way. This is nothing new. LMAO, come on. But when JoJo finally dropped Karma in April, the song not only underwhelmed audiences, but sparked the beginning of a widespread online tirade against the dancer. Everything about JoJo, from her music to cringeworthy humor, had become the butt of Gen Z's jokes. And it's easy to jump on the JoJo Siwa hate train while her current shtick feels more like a Disney caricature of a rebellious rock star than an adult artist maturing in music taste and sensibilities. It's also easy to make fun of her for wanting to be the next Miley Cyrus, Lady Gaga, Freddie Mercury, or Elton John. But the thing is, while these artists might be considered icons now, they were also widely panned during their own time. See, while most of the internet took offense when JoJo Siwa compared herself to Miley Cyrus, were the two really so different? Both were the faces of their respective networks.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Miley here in Hannah Montana's closet. What's up, everyone? It's JoJo Siwa, and I am guest starring on an all-new Thundermans.
Both endured grueling work schedules throughout their childhood and teen years.
I don't dress myself, so someone dresses me.
You okay?
Both were peddled to children like they weren't people, but merchandise. And both received backlash the second they pivoted directions. Yes, it wasn't so long ago that Miley's controversies were plastered across teen magazines and tabloids that criticized the star for failing to set a good example for her young fans. Similarly, after coming out, JoJo was also reportedly snubbed from attending the Kids' Choice Awards, and there was already speculation about the authenticity of her new identity.
I think what's happening is that she got such positive, immediate feedback from the quote-unquote community that she now feels like she has to burrow herself further and further into this.
And so it appeared, slowly but surely, a portion of the public was turning on JoJo. But if there was one thing the dancer's time in the limelight had taught her, it was how to protect her brand. So, in true JoJo fashion, she managed to make the most of a less-than-ideal reception. After all, positive or negative, JoJo was getting what she wanted, attention, and she wasn't afraid to admit it.
I didn't care if people liked it, I didn't care if people hated it, but I wanted people to turn their head at it. And I wanted people to talk about it. Whether people like Karma or don't like Karma, they sing it and they know it.
It turns out, JoJo was right on the money, because like it or not, Karma was an earworm.
Like, no matter what anyone thinks about it, is it not completely stuck in your head all freaking day long?
It's probably because I keep liking all the videos making fun of her for that song, but like it needs to get out of my head.
No! Get out of my skin!
But JoJo's hot streak wouldn't last long. The public soon caught on that the song JoJo spent weeks hyping up wasn't actually written by her at all. Despite what JoJo's interviews had misled her viewers to believe, Karma was an unreleased single recorded by artist Britt Smith way back in 2012. Soon enough, people started accusing JoJo of song theft. However, it is important to note that while Britt Smith did record the song, she never actually released it for herself until this year. In fact, it was originally written by lyricists Desmond Child, Tim James, and Antonia Armato. The song was meant to go to Miley Cyrus, who had also recorded a demo herself in 2011. When it was scrapped due to Miley's existing contract with Disney at the time, it was then offered to Brit. In an interview with Page 6, Brit dispelled the rumors of JoJo stealing Karma from her and cleared up rumors of a beef between the two artists.
It's just a testament to how strong the song is itself that it stood the test of time 12 years later. I'm just happy that people are hearing it and liking it. I think, it's nice to hear different interpretations of it. I was, attached to my version, but it's nice to hear.
Meanwhile, JoJo herself denied the allegations, asserting that the song was only pitched to her and that she didn't even know who Britt Smith was.
What happens is people write songs and then they just don't do anything with them. And then a few years later, it makes more sense for another artist.
Yes, the truth was that what occurred with Karma was just standard industry practice. In any case, both versions of the song, JoJo's and Britt Smith's, managed to rack up millions of streams on Spotify. However, in April, Britt's version uncharted JoJo's. Britt's version peaked at number 8 on US iTunes charts, while JoJo's version at number 89. But JoJo's time in the hot seat wasn't up just yet. Her rebrand had also drawn negative reactions from other artists and influencers, igniting online beef between the dancer and her peers. In response to JoJo's Twitter likes history, revealing JoJo liking shady tweets, calling Lil Tay pathetic, Lil Tay posted, directly tagging JoJo in her tweet. "You're a scary ass. If you have something to say about me, say it, and this time don't delete your comment or unlike shady tweets. Don't let those paid YouTube views and botted Spotify streams get to your head, Madonna, from the Dollar Tree bit." Tegan and Sarah, queer indie pop icons, also shared their disdain in a wordless video uploaded to their TikTok after hearing of JoJo's assertion of being the only queer artist of her generation. Tana Mongeau, fellow YouTube influencer and friend, also joined in roasting JoJo's new bad girl persona.
You think she's ever taken like a perk 30 and like cussed somebody out?
This begs the question, was this rebrand truly a genuine effort on JoJo's part to break away from her childish persona? Her enthusiasm during the entire campaign certainly suggested so. But when going through the interviews JoJo gave promoting her debut single, there were hints as to how inauthentic the rebrand felt, even to herself.
Originally, I was scared of the lyrics. I was 18 years old. I didn't want to say bitch. I didn't want to say I was a bad girl because I wasn't a bad girl.
Most successful rebrands stem from it being a natural evolution of the artist, key examples being the careers of Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, and Britney Spears. Yet, JoJo herself was aware of this need for an organic progression and still seemed to believe it applied to her.
There's never really been an influencer child star turned into musician adult star. There's been similar, never someone that was themselves that's making this boom jump transition.
Looking back, JoJo was already maturing in the years following her coming out. She had been engaging in projects like Special Forces, World's Toughest Test, which Jessalynn reportedly did not approve of.
The reality is it's hard for me to go places. It's not always fun for me to go places. It's work, you know?
And her time at Special Forces have revealed to the public a side of JoJo they had never seen before. Vulnerable, humble, and insecure.
I made a joke that I was wrapped in bubble wrap my whole life, and that really is so true. I feel like it really gave no choice but to take that bubble wrap and just chuck it down the drain. And my mom, I feel like, is holding on to that bubble wrap now. What do I do with this?
In fact, it was only this year that it seemed like JoJo had been rushing the adultification of her persona and content. So, if this rebrand was truly years in the making, why rush it now? What changed? Well, it seemed JoJo's rebrand was no longer about making headlines. This time, it was supposedly about burying them. Throughout her career, JoJo has had a knack for stirring the pot. And from PR disasters to her most damning controversies, JoJo's managed to make headlines out of it all. In 2019, a JoJo Siwa themed makeup set released by Claire's, the children's fashion accessory brand, was recalled for containing trace amounts of asbestos fibers in the eyeshadow palettes it released with. According to the Food and Drug Administration, asbestos is a carcinogenic mineral that is widely known to cause several serious diseases, including lung cancer and mesothelioma, another rare and more aggressive type of cancer. The makeup kit was voluntarily recalled by Claire's out of an abundance of caution, following the warning issued by the FDA. Despite this, the company continued to assert that the product was still safe to use, as the trace amounts of asbestos found in products were considered acceptable under European and Canadian cosmetic safety regulations. A week after the ordeal, JoJo finally addressed the issue in a now-deleted YouTube video where she said safety was her #1 priority and that they were working really hard to make sure that this product was recalled and off all shelves. The makeup kit had been sold in Claire stores nationwide for almost a year until it was pulled in May 2019. It hasn't been sold again since. However, shortly after one scandal ended, another began. In 2020, smack dab in the middle of the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement, JoJo released a circus-themed video for her song Non-Stop that featured one young dancer in brown face paint and monkey ears. Immediately, allegations of blackface began to surface. However, in a now-deleted Instagram post, JoJo stood by the creative choice, claiming that all of the kids in the video were dressed as different circus animals and that she stood behind the BLM movement. She then doubled down on the issue, blocking people who urged her to apologize. Instead, she posted a photo of herself doing a peace sign as the caption read, "This is for all the people I blocked today. Peace out, Girl Scout. This is my Instagram, and anyone who is going to be mean is not going to be allowed on here. People are bossing me around, telling me who to follow, what to post, what to like, what to say, what to do, everything. It's not about what you do on social media. It's about what you do in real life. I said it best when I was 12. Hide behind the screen, because they're so mean. But we don't play it like that. We don't even fight back." Yes, JoJo refused to apologize. And if you're sensing there's an ongoing theme of evading responsibility or shifting blame when it comes to the dancer's past scandals, well, just wait until you hear this next one. In 2021, JoJo's Nickelodeon-sponsored card game, JoJo Juice, was pulled from shelves due to outrage from parents. See, despite the card game being marketed towards JoJo's young fans, some cards had questions that weren't exactly what you'd expect from a game rated 6+.
Have you ever walked in on someone naked or had someone walk in on you? Have you ever taken money from someone's purse or wallet without asking? Because we want to encourage that. Have you learned the art of twerking? JoJo has.
In response to the mounting backlash, JoJo uploaded a statement to her TikTok page.
Now, when companies make these games, they don't run every aspect by me, and so I had no idea of the types of questions that were on these playing cards. I hope you all know that I would have never, ever approved or agreed to be associated with this game if I would have seen these cards before they started selling it.
But when it came to JoJo's next scandal, she was behind the decision 100%. In 2023, JoJo uploaded a photo of herself holding her stomach and shopping for baby clothes, leading some to speculate that she was expecting, and others to assume the openly queer star was pregnancy baiting.
If I did that, I would be canceled. If I took a photo, bloated as hell, beside a box of Pampers diapers and said, "I'm expecting," I would be
Because isn't it like frowned upon since so many people have like trouble getting pregnant and stuff?
Yes.
But as it turned out, amongst a vocal group, JoJo was very much canceled.
Like, why does JoJo Siwa get to do that and I don't? Oh wait, I'm actually completely kidding. I looked it up on Twitter.
Oh, and people are mad.
People are really mad.
As for JoJo, well, at first, she could only laugh at the rumor. Eventually, however, JoJo shut down the pregnancy rumors, reiterating to her viewers that she was not attracted to men. While some fans were relieved, others didn't find JoJo's fake pregnancy funny, suggesting that it was insensitive to women struggling with reproductive health issues. All the while, JoJo had been engaged in all sorts of online beef with various celebrities, including Justin Bieber, who joked about burning JoJo's car, DaBaby, who called JoJo a bitch in one of his lyrics, Candace Cameron Bure, after JoJo named her as the rudest celebrity she has met, a feud that was resolved, and then reignited after some anti-LGBTQ+ comments Candace made, Brooke Hyland for shading Abby Lee Miller, and Annalise Vanderpool, after JoJo shaded the actress after she had gotten fired from Raven's home, the cancelled spin-off series of That's So Raven. However, when it comes to JoJo's messiest controversies, it isn't celebrity spats the star gets caught up in, but rather matters of the heart. See, JoJo is known to mention her exes often, during interviews and even at the recent launch party of her new song, Choose Your Fighter.
Dream guest on my podcast?
Not one of my exes.
Who's your favorite ex? LOL. What a question. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. I do have a favorite.
In an interview at the 2024 GLAAD Awards, JoJo described her current love life to be messy, an apt description, especially after her recent appearance on the Now This Is Living podcast with Shannon Belveridge. While discussing exes on the episode, JoJo had kind words to say about her past relationships. Well, except for one.
I have a good relationship with one of my exes, and the other one I will never talk to again till the day I die.
Though JoJo didn't directly name any exes, fans theorized that she'd been referring to TikToker Avery Cyrus. And it didn't take long for the influencer to confirm these suspicions with a since-deleted TikTok where she responded to JoJo's vow never to talk to her again.
Thank you, God.
For context, JoJo Siwa and her ex-girlfriend Avery had been in an on-again, off-again relationship throughout 2022. Avery was previously in a long-term relationship with YouTuber Soph Mosca. When Avery and Soph broke up, Soph felt blindsided and heartbroken by the split. After the breakup with Soph, Avery started dating JoJo Siwa, who had also recently ended a relationship with fellow social media influencer and basketball player Kylie Prue in 2021. When the couple officially broke things off in December 2022, most had assumed it to be a clean break. However, shortly after the breakup, JoJo began claiming that she felt used for clout by her ex and that she was tricked into thinking she was in love with her. The claim was made public through Jessalynn's Instagram stories. Then, in 2023, Avery went on a multi-part TikTok tirade against an ex that many assumed to be JoJo. Without naming names, Avery claimed when she was going out with a former girlfriend, they ran into the girlfriend's ex at a concert and the two chatted.
I didn't really think anything of it until the next morning when my girlfriend at the time was like, I think I should text my ex and let her know that there's no bad blood between us. Like what?
After sending the text, the girlfriend went downstairs to work out, and that meant when messages started popping up on the girlfriend's phone, Avery was able to take a peek.
Turns out she sent more messages, something along the lines of, oh, I still have the thing you gave me when we first met. And the ex's response, keep in mind she had a girlfriend at the time, was the pet name that they used to call each other, and oh, I still have that too, and I also have the ring that you gave me.
Avery told her girlfriend she saw the text and the girlfriend promised she wouldn't respond. However, 3 days later, Avery arrived home. She received a message from her girlfriend, or rather, her now ex-girlfriend.
She sends me a voice memo breaking up with me through voice memo.
Avery was convinced her ex didn't like one thing about her.
She didn't like when I sung in the shower. She didn't like when I soft sung in the car. She didn't like when I rested my hand on her leg because it felt awkward. She wanted me to grip it. She also didn't like when I would sit too close to her while we were eating or while she was working, and didn't like how I played with slime and played with fidget toys and made Japanese candy.
And while she could acknowledge people had different interests, Avery claimed she was exactly the person she portrayed herself to be on social media.
You knew what I was!
Yet, instead of accepting Avery for who she was, the girlfriend chose to pick on her.
I swear this girl would make me cry every single day. I distinctly remember me crying on our 1-month anniversary because she was mocking my singing. She mocked me and I got quiet and she was like, oh, am I gonna push you over the edge? And I was like, yeah, probably. And she was like, sounds fun. And did it again and I started crying.
Then came the infamous roast beef feud. In 2023, Avery uploaded a video chopping up a roast beef sandwich to the song Get Him Back by Olivia Rodrigo. Though the meaning behind the upload might not be immediately apparent, the food item likely represented female genitalia that can be derogatorily referred to as this. And if the song was another clue, it was a message to her ex. In response, JoJo uploaded a video of herself eating a roast beef sandwich to the same song. Months later, JoJo seemed to address the feud when recounting her last public relationship and how it had given her trust issues.
I have fired at her a little bit on social media, and she's fired at me a little bit on social media. I've never started it, and I would finish it.
Why can't you just say it?
I could, but it's like a whole legal thing behind closed doors 3 months after we broke up. I, at that point, was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take the social media heat. Like, I don't care about the narrative anymore. Like, I don't care about the truth anymore.
But as JoJo's recent rebrand has proven, her controversies are unending. As recently as June 8th, during the Pride in Park concert, the former child star appeared on stage with a bottle of vodka in hand during an uncharacteristically provocative performance. At one point during her set, Siwa talked about a negative comment she received online.
There's a video of me performing, and some guy, I stalked his page, he was definitely straight. This guy commented, and this was a new comment for me. It wasn't about the dance that I do. It wasn't about my hairline. It wasn't that I'm a 5'9" giant toddler. It said, this man needs to be stopped. That's how I felt, till I realized two things. Number one, my is bigger than his. And number two, I more girls than him.
As expected, the internet was quick to drag JoJo, not for the performance itself, but because she was trying too hard. Since then, JoJo's team hasn't commented on whether or not she was actually inebriated during the performance. But perhaps JoJo's most glaring lapse in judgment wasn't to do with her career, business ventures, or romantic relationships, but her circle of friends. At some point, the internet had clocked JoJo's tendency to stay closely associated with a number of disgraced YouTubers, namely Colleen Ballinger, Shane Dawson, and James Charles. Shane was in hot water in 2020 for a parody video that surfaced of him pretending to relieve himself on an image of a young Willow Smith. This opened the floodgates for the internet to resurface all of Dawson's older and more problematic content during his early days as a YouTuber. This included racism, homophobia, misogyny, pedophilia, and even allegations of mistreating animals. And while he apologized and stopped creating this kind of content, many can't forgive him for his actions. James Charles was also under fire in 2021 when several underage fans came forward with screenshots of the influencer flirting and sending them lewd photos, which often took place on Instagram before moving to Snapchat. James has also apologized for his actions, but has continued to search for potential partners on Instagram, leading to continuous concerns over his actions. In spite of these circumstances, JoJo was less than deterred when it came to maintaining their friendships, publicly and in private. In February 2024, JoJo posted in support of James Charles' new song, Call Me Back. To this day, it seems the two have maintained their friendship, as James Charles posted a dance video on his TikTok in support of Karma back in April. In fact, Colleen and James were both present at JoJo Siwa's Karma release party and at her birthday party. As for her relationship with Shane Dawson, JoJo was briefly featured in one of his videos in June 2023. Most recently, during a live stream, Shane also refused to give any negative remarks about JoJo in light of the media storm surrounding her and her rebrand. This has caused viewers to see her support for the canceled influencers as downplaying, if not endorsing their actions. Colleen Ballinger also faced grooming allegations back in 2020 for having several inappropriate interactions with her underage fans. These claims were brought back to light in 2023, and instead of apologizing, she denied them through a not-so-well-received song. At the same time, Colleen's sister, YouTuber Rachel Ballinger, also faced similar accusations, this time for allegedly grooming JoJo Siwa at 14 years old. However, during an interview with Alex Cooper on the Call Her Daddy podcast, JoJo expressed how Jessalynn's overprotectiveness kept her safe from the common danger of predators growing up as a child actor signed under Nickelodeon. When asked to comment about the experiences of other child actors, in light of the revelations made seen from the Nickelodeon documentary, Quiet on Set, JoJo said, "I'm lucky that my bad has not been bad. My bad has been a little bit of bullying on the internet, compared to people with their parents, people with their creators, people with their financials, people with their bodies being around people they didn't want them to be around. I've been so lucky, and I credit that to my mom. My mom has kept every psychopath out of my life." Despite her statement, there is a portion of her fanbase that has observed otherwise. In the midst of the Colleen Ballinger controversy, the pop culture commentary Twitter account, aka Stardust, shared a cut sound clip from a September 2021 episode of Rachel Ballinger's podcast interview with then 18-year-old JoJo Siwa. In the clip, the two reminisced about how they met.
I get a message from Rachel that says...
On Twitter. It's a DM.
It's a DM on Twitter.
I slid into her DMs. You were also 14, 13?
14,
yeah, 14.
14.
Okay.
Maybe even 13. I get a text on Twitter, a DM that says, "Hey, let's be friends."
I shot my shot.
Yes, I realize my profile pic is the cutest thing ever right now. I said, "Hey, love, I missed you."
Fans were quick to call out the inappropriate nature of their meeting, with JoJo being 14 and Rachel possibly around 26. Then, fans pointed out more instances of their inappropriate friendship. For example, in an older episode of Rachel's podcast, this time featuring JoJo and Colleen, the trio joked about Rachel not being able to cuddle while JoJo is a minor.
I was like, when you're 18, we'll cuddle or something. Okay, wait, whoa, hold on. You're gonna gloss over this? That you told JoJo Siwa, when you're 18, we'll cuddle?
Fans and other commenters under the video seemingly make light of the exchange, with some even waiting for Rachel to make good on her promise to JoJo. 2022, Rachel has a girlfriend, JoJo has a girlfriend, and here we are still waiting for JoJo and Rachel to cuddle. We'll cuddle before both of them coming out. I love this. Now both of them, we are gay. What a coincidence, and I'm living for it. Elsewhere, however, fans painted a much darker picture regarding the pair's dynamic. Is it bad to say that when Rachel came out, I thought she was dating JoJo only because of how close they are? And Rachel's always gushing over JoJo's products in a review video, and that the whole Ballinger family, including Colleen, are extremely close to JoJo. A teenager who has been groomed doesn't know they're being groomed, so that argument holds no water. At Rachel's grown age, she should know that kind of behavior towards a teenager isn't appropriate. It is never the teen's responsibility to set that boundary. It is on the adult, every time. No, even if JoJo was comfortable, if she was talked to like that by an adult as a minor, it is wrong. Kids get groomed all the time and think it is cool until they are older and realize an adult manipulated them into bad, uncomfortable situations. Since both had come out in the same year as queer, Rachel as lesbian and JoJo as pansexual, they continued to engage in explicit conversations.
I think who you're with changes your slight preference.
It matters?
Yeah. I'm a switch, and right now, a slight bottom preference.
All right.
And you're just a bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yet, JoJo's loyalties to the Ballingers remained unshaken. In fact, in the Howie Mandel podcast episode we previously talked about, JoJo not only praised Colleen.
I was 12 when I met her. She's always been nothing but kind to me, her family nothing but kind to me.
But dismissed the allegations against her.
The internet can take a lie and run so far with it, so far that it's to the point where you just can't do anything about it. I know Colleen very, very, very well, and I think the work that Colleen has done for the internet is incredible. I think her creativity is incredible, and I think being a comedian is very hard because you were able to do things years ago that were okay, and now that we've grown and we've matured, we've realized that they're not okay.
Later in the interview, JoJo also alluded to other friends who had faced similar controversies, possibly referring to Shane Dawson and James Charles.
There have been a lot of people on the internet who have gotten hit with this cancellation. And I look at it and I see that this is a sensitive subject. Somebody who is affected by anything having to do with adults. I mean, for real grooming, it's a very sensitive thing.
The internet slammed JoJo for her views and for defending YouTubers who all happen to be facing allegations of inappropriate behavior towards their underage fans. Questions were also raised as to why JoJo had so many friendships with problematic influencers. Clearly, something was not adding up. JoJo had been in the media industry her whole life. She had her mom Jess and their entire management team to help her steer clear from actions that could potentially bring her backlash involving alleged predators. Unless, of course, bad press was exactly what they were looking for. And if that were the case, the only question would be, why? Perhaps the most serious of JoJo's controversies thus far is the one that the Siwas have been working hard to bury, because unlike the rest, these allegations surround not just her, but the actions of her momager, Jessalynn Siwa, as well. On February 13th, 2024, Rolling Stone published an article exposing the alleged horrific treatment of the OMG Pop girls during and after filming Siwa's Dance Pop Revolution. During its conception, Dance Pop Revolution was marketed to be a kinder, gentler version of Dance Moms. With what Jess and JoJo went through on Dance Moms, we thought they wouldn't want to do anything that would make a child feel a certain way or paint them in a certain light, one source close to production had confided. But as it turned out, this original vision couldn't be farther from reality. One of the most significant allegations came from Leah Sanderson and her mother, Angie. Leah is a dancer with spina bifida who participated in the show. Despite her initial excitement, Leah and other members of OMG Pop reported feeling exploited and mistreated. According to Sanderson and 3 other sources, the cast was merely a new pet project for Jessalynn and a way for JoJo to pursue her own career decisions. It was like, let me give my mommy new little dolls to play with so I can stop wearing the bows and have a life, one source claimed. The Sandersons, along with other sources close to the production, alleged that the Siwas subjected the children to grueling rehearsals, forging school breaks, and meager compensation.
To me, it looks like kids play. You don't look like pop stars to me. I cannot have the press see this. I don't care that you just learned it, and I don't care that you're tired.
They also alleged Leah was forced to work under very difficult physical conditions, with Jessalynn encouraging her to attend a video shoot just a few weeks after she underwent spinal cord surgery. In one instance, just days before the surgery, Leah started bleeding through her belly button during a rehearsal for a performance at the Children's and Family Emmys, which was hosted by JoJo. However, rather than encouraging her to take a break, Jessalynn allegedly told her to put a maxi pad on so the blood wouldn't leak onto her costume. They also claimed that Jessalynn was harsh towards the young performers, calling them names and, in one instance, ridiculing a child for having a disability. Most shocking of all was the claim that JoJo herself was also said to be unpleasant and controlling, a stark contrast to her cheerful public image.
You're not gonna sit in the studio, pout in the corner, be a to my mom, and then expect me to like you.
At one point, she allegedly yelled insults at the girls during a performance and was involved in fostering a competitive and hostile environment, favoring some members over others and encouraging rivalry.
Did JoJo ever,
Yes.
She cussed at me, but I don't know if she ever cussed at kids.
Sometimes.
I don't know.
We can't prove it.
Leah and I were in a dark, dark place for months and months, that I don't think we were healthy enough to speak out about, Angie said. Now that we've had time to recover and heal from it, we're in a place where we are ready to share and tell people about everything. Rolling Stone also interviewed several individuals familiar with the production of Dance Pop Revolution and the Siwas, uncovering even more damning evidence of their alleged manipulation. The investigation revealed over 24 documents related to OMG Pop and Siwa's Dance Pop Revolution, including contracts, text messages, and emails. The sources claimed that the Siwas and producers tempted the young OMG Pop members with promises of stardom, only to berate them and encourage them to cry on camera. Then, after a day of alleged mistreatment on set, the girls would reportedly return to their hotel rooms to find candy baskets and Nintendo Switches. The highs were high and the lows were low, a source said. A representative from the production company behind Siwa's Dance Pop Revolution has since denied these claims, stating the children were neither given gifts nor encouraged to cry. When Angie voiced her concerns about OMG Pop to other mothers and a studio teacher, the Sandersons claimed Jessalynn was informed and Leah was subsequently fired from the group. Over the past year and a half, 4 original winners of the competition, Kia Bartishin, Kinley Cunningham, Leah Sanderson, and Bella Urena, left under unclear circumstances, with minimal or no commentary from the Siwas. Today, only 3 of the group's original 6 remain: Brooklyn Pitts, Tiny T. Azarian, and Dallas Skies, with Penelope Lemieux joining the group in 2023. The mothers of the other girls who left declined to comment to Rolling Stone. Angie claims she was the only one who didn't sign a non-disclosure agreement. In response to Rolling Stone's request for comment, each of the mothers of the current members of OMG Pop sent statements through a representative for the Siwas, praising their positive experience with the group. One mother wrote, "Jess has taken care of the girls as her own. JoJo has played an older sister role and supportive mentor to the girls. We value the time, energy, attention, and financial commitment the Siwas have given us." Another stated, "Since we have joined, we only have had an amazing and positive experience. I find it very hard to believe the Siwas could have done anything wrong." There was also the matter of alleged unjust compensation. Much of the work the girls did, such as brand deals and shooting content for social media, fell outside traditional entertainment categories. The Sandersons alleged the Siwas failed to compensate Leah for such labor or provide her with the standard on-set protections afforded to minor talent. However, according to one of these sources, there was an adage amongst some of the producers on set: "It's not a good day unless you make a kid cry." Despite producers denying a toxic workplace environment, the Sandersons and 2 other sources close to the production alleged Jessalynn was also allegedly verbally abusive during rehearsals, with Jessalynn berating a contestant with hypotonia, a disorder that causes low muscle tone, by mocking her for being unable to move her arms and legs. She also allegedly made fun of her speech, at one point mimicking her. Though the group is still intact today, embarking soon on a 10-city US tour this summer, OMG Pop hasn't become the pop cultural phenomenon that the Siwas had intended it to be. According to the Sandersons, the Siwas had promised the group a performance in Australia, a Christmas movie, and a multi-million-dollar toy deal, all of which never panned out. The Siwas did not respond to questions regarding failed brand deals or a prospective film project. So, was OMG Pop Jessalynn's unsuccessful attempt to recreate her daughter's successes with new dolls? After all, both mother and daughter have seemingly since abandoned the venture. For her part, JoJo was moving on to the next stage of her career, an era that, according to Rolling Stone, would no longer involve her longtime manager Karen, who was supposedly fired, although some sources have stated otherwise. And so the group's YouTube channel was left floundering, with most videos barely breaking 100,000 views, despite the channel having over 12 million subscribers. The world did not pick up this group. Jessalynn Siwa picked the group. One source close to the production commented, "They pulled every lever. They got Meghan Trainor. It's been almost 2 years. They're not going to make it. Can you really force feed it to the world?" Since the article came out, the Siwas had tried their best to give the Sandersons as little attention as possible. Outside of statements made through their legal team, they've said very little except for the occasional cryptic post, like one JoJo shared and quickly deleted in March 2024. Whether that was meant to be shade against the Sandersons or not, the damage was already done. In the eyes of Leah's fans, she's already become a second Abby Lee Miller. As for Leah, she has returned to a more stable routine, re-enrolling full-time in school and recently performing again at her dance studio. She's also been active on social media, frequently using her TikTok to upload her own dance videos and share her experiences on the show, or, as she's dubbed it, the asylum. Despite these positive steps, she harbors deep resentment towards the Siwas. As she stated in the Rolling Stone's article, it's like they use you, and then they throw you in the trash. After piecing all of this together, it's hard to overlook how the rebranding of JoJo Siwa seems, in part, an attempt to distance herself from these controversies. The stunts, the inflammatory statements, And the timing of it all, just a month after the expose on the Siwa's exploitative practices. Sure, it could be a series of coincidences, but was it? Or was JoJo's shift from a family-friendly teen idol to queer rebel artist not a rebrand, but a calculated cover-up? An Instagram post from Leah Sanderson's mother, Angie, has suggested the latter by calling karma a diversion. And in this case, despite the backlash and negativity, JoJo's rebrand was a roaring success. Why, you ask? Well, this era has been big, loud, and possibly just distracting enough that the chances of people reading the story of a little girl who dreamed of becoming a dancer, not unlike JoJo herself, suffering under the tutelage of someone she once idolized, are at this point slim to none. But if the allegations against JoJo are true, then perhaps the dancer did choose the perfect song to launch her rebrand. After all, as the saying goes, karma always comes back around. If you have more topics you'd like us to dive into, leave a comment below and consider subscribing to stay updated. And while you're here, consider checking out our other videos about celebrities with controversial past surfacing, such as Dr. Disrespect and Drake Bell. Before you go, don't forget to check the link in the description or scan the QR code to join Cash Kick to start turning your free time into cash.